Welcome back to the channel. Just gonna dive right into this video. We are working on the GT3RS, and I got a special guest up from Florida, my buddy Bradley from Naples Auto Armour. We're polishing the existing PPF that's on the car. Basically with this car, you guys know when I picked it up, this car had a full front clear bra, and then Mainline did basically the rest of the car. So what we're doing is we're gonna do a ceramic coating with your new product, right?
Yeah.
What is it?
Armour Detail Supply.
So we're gonna do a coating. Basically we're gonna do the trim, and the coating is good on top of clear bra. I trust this man to death. He's very picky. His shop's down in we're at Naples area, like Naples area. He was the one who did the clear bra on the Mint car. Yep. So he's back up here. This was his idea. Don't let him con you into thinking that I brought him up. I asked him to come up here. I mean, I was going to, let's be real, anyways. And then anyways, long story short, we're cleaning up the film, right? We're getting rid of some of the older hazing. You guys, if you don't know this, you can polish film.
Yep.
I mean, some people don't realize it's not gonna perfect. You're not gonna be able to dial it in exactly where you want it, but you can get it, what, 90% back?
Yeah, there's always going to be some scratches that go through the self-healing top coat that you're never going to be able to fix. Mostly it's just kind of cleaning it up. After a few years, clear bra is always going to have a little haze to it, and just a little bit of kind of funkiness, especially if it's not, maintained properly, it's not coated. So you can just kind of get that kind of funky layer off, get some of the light swirls out, and it'll just look a whole lot better. So that's what we're doing right now with the new. You can get this from our buddy Matt at Obsessed Garage, but this thing has been pretty solid so far. Especially since we're working out of the garage. Right. No more wires. So that's been going really well. So we're gonna finish up that. We're gonna tidy up the vents here. So we're gonna do some solution finish, bring some of the trim back. So I'll pick up the camera and show you that, and then once that's cured and the car's cleaned up, we'll get the coating out and I'll have Bradley run through it with you. We are doing solution finish. If you guys have ever used this stuff, it's basically a plastic back to black restorer. It's an amazing product, but it is definitely messy. But we're doing them on just the vents here. These get on most 3RSs just get pretty sun weathered, because they're flat, so the sun's always hitting down on them. But we're gonna restore this first before we go ahead and put the trim ceramic coating on. So kind of put that on, you let it sit, level it out. We might, do 2 coats? Yeah, depending on how much it needs.
We'll have to wipe off, see it gets everywhere.
Yeah.
Let me go get another towel and be useful here. You can see it's pretty glossy. I see a lot of streaks on it, so this will sit about 10 minutes or so. And then you can come back and smooth this and level it out. And then the coating will darken it a little bit, but again, we're essentially getting rid of all that blotchiness in the plastic. By the way, when you go to do this, make sure you clean this up. Any type of prep spray or anything. But if you get a little bit on your clear bra, on your film, just have a clean towel handy. You can wipe it up. It should clean up. It won't stain the clear bra. If it comes off concrete, it'll come off a clear bra.
Yeah, or your paint, it's the same thing. It'll come right off with some alcohol.
So you can see we already did down in here. If you have we used a little foam piece with a suede microfiber wrapped around it. It was kind of like a Q-tip, helps you get in there in the small places. But you can use this on basically any plastic. So, there's plastics down here. If you needed to restore any of the trim here, plastic pieces here, if you had anything in here. We're just doing the vents because that's really all that's needed. The other plastics are pretty good, and when we put the coating on the other plastics, it'll actually darken that and bring that back. We had to put the one door down because the sun is coming in pretty heavily. So car's looking phenomenal right now. We did the solution finish. You just saw that. You can see it brightened it up. It kind of made it a little darker. Some of the imperfections that you see are actually, it's the composite itself, right? It's a very lightweight plastic. So, but they look much better, leveled out. We're gonna let that dry. We're gonna skip that for now. The panels are all prepped. So we went through We went through and did a full panel wipe using Bradley's Armour Detail Supply. If it's gonna focus, maybe it won't focus. But anyways, panel wipe. This stuff smells great. What's the smell supposed to be?
It's supposed to be like wintergreen type of florally scent, but it's a little fruity, like Troy said.
Yeah, it's definitely not wintergreen. Like,
That's the name of it.
Yeah, but it's like it smells good. Like it's like you want to use the product. Yeah, it smells really good. So we went through. This is probably the longest step. I think we're about a half hour in on panel prep. What you notice with a full clear broad car is, as the panels are getting cleaned and prepped, you're going to feel a lot of static, a little bit of resistance, I would say. That means you're doing a good job. You're prepping the clear bra. You're getting ready for the coating. Now, you may have a little bit of lint and some things like that get on there from your towel. That's fine. When you're doing the coating, you'll pull all of that up. So we are pretty much prepped. I did a 300 GSM for a panel prep, and then went through, if this comes out, a thicker plush as kind of a second wipe to really take care of any leaning streaks. And again, you don't want to do this in direct sun, so we closed the door so this panel could cool down and prep, because you will get some streaking, as I found out.
We're good streaking! Yes! Don't use an isopropyl based cleaner in the sun. It'll dry pretty quickly.
Yeah, and then you get these hard streaks, and you're fighting a game that just it's over and over and over and over. But the car is looking, I mean, just look at it sit here right now. It's pretty gnarly, and you know, there's this pole in the way. But if you watch my previous video, we talked about the pole. It's going to stay, but it'll be painted a different color. But yeah, look at it. It is looking great now. So we are going to get the coating ready to go, and I will have that. I'll get that all laid out, and we'll lay it out on the cart here and go over it. Here is the coating. You get in the nice box here. But this is Bradley's coating. So again, you know, he is super picky. He's had years and years and years using plethora of different coatings, and from what I understand, this is your coating as he's struggling with the... Don't ask what's going on around here. So this is basically taking everything that he liked about other coatings, what he didn't like about other coatings, and putting them into something that basically, what? You know, give me your 30-second run through of what is it's Armour Detail Supply quartz coating.
Yeah.
Right? There's no fancy name.
Yep.
No.
So I mean, this is a quartz-based coating, typical, you know, ceramic SiO2 coating. The big thing with ours is just everything is very transparent. We will, you know, everything is very labeled for you. We'll tell you exactly what's in the bottle. We're not trying to hide anything. We tell you the exact kind of loading level and activity level in the coating. And all of our claims are very realistic. We're not telling you this is a 9-year coating, 10-year coating. This is a true 3-year coating, and you will get 3 years plus out of
something. But then that all depends on how long you take, just like any coating, right? We're not, at this point, we're not talking about, you know, it's really any coating across the board. First of all, if somebody says a coating is 9 years, like, that is just, I don't care how well you take care of it, that's not going to happen, right?
It's a
false so there may be some brands that you heard, though, oh, it's a lifetime coat. That's never the case with any brand, even this coating, right? And so longevity is also tied with the prep work, right? That's just like painting a car, right? The prep work is your underlying foundation, so what we just did and what we just talked about. But then the second piece is the aftercare of it, right? So there's that, you got your 3-year baseline, but you may go 3.5, you may go 4 years. If the car's driven once every 2 months, it's taken care of the right way. That's where that little bit of longevity is going to come from, right?
Exactly. So, the one thing I like to say is our coatings are great, but they don't do and can't do the prep work for you. That's obviously going to be the most important step, is the paint correction, the prep beforehand. Luckily, Troy's car is all PPF, so it was freshly, you know, PPF. There wasn't really much we had to do. We just, you know, polished some of the older clear bra just to kind of strip the surface and get it ready, and we're good to go. But obviously, you're doing this on an older vehicle. There's some more prep work that's needed so that the coating has a good foundation to bond to the surface. So.
And you have coatings not just for paint. You have trim coatings, glass.
Yes.
Or can you use this coating on trim?
So we have a glass specific coating and we have a wheel specific coating. Then we have 2 different types of paint coatings. Our paint coatings are very universal. You can use our paint coatings on paint, you can use them on clear bra, you can use them on vinyl wrap, you can actually use them on matte finishes if you want. Obviously some changes in application will be needed for a matte type of finish. And you can use them on plastic trim. They'll deepen and darken the plastic trim, and you can even use them on some rubbers as well, like your window trim rubbers, and it will darken those and keep those protected from fading. So that's the nice thing about these coatings, is you can just apply it to most of the vehicle other than the glass and the wheels, and you're good to go. So yeah.
So we are going to get moving here. I can't wait, because this car look like on camera, like it looks good in person, but like it's coming across on camera really well, so I can't wait to get the coating on here. Again, the other thing is, I mentioned we close the door. Make sure you're doing this on a like, I want to say room temperature, but not in direct sunlight. You want to make sure the panels are cooled. So if you were outside prepping, don't bring the car in and start right away, right? You want to bring the car in, let it sit, make sure all the panels are cool to the touch, just like polishing, right? The hotter the panel gets, the harder it is to work with. So we're going to get this all set up, and I'll pick up the camera. Maybe I'll have Bradley do a little test spot, and we'll go from there. Pretty nice applicator. None of that block with the stupid foam foam things, and you had to slice them in there, and you had to hold this block. So you basically primed it, right? So put a little extra on there, primed it, massaged it together, kind of butterfly it up, massage it together. And then every panel after that, you can just do a couple drops.
Yeah,
right, to
10,
top
15
it off.
drops or so, just to you know, keep it going. And obviously as you apply it, you know, if you're starting to get draggy spots or spots where you're not really being able to see the coating, obviously just drip a little bit more on and get some on there. So
so we're gonna go ahead and do the hood, and I'll let Bradley kind of run through, and I'll grab it's coming up pretty bright through here in the camera, so, but you also want to make sure you have some lighting. So if there's a scan grip light, if you've got, you know, a handheld light, get as much lighting in as you can. However, that being said, another thing I want to show is we're doing this in my garage, right? It's clearly, this is not a crazy detail shop. There's not a ton of lighting in here, but these are things, you know, like the coatings are forgiving these days, right? You know, it's not at a point where back in the day you were, you know, scared and intimidated to do it. And that's what I think, you know, why we wanted to do this video was, this is what this coating is, right? This is the non-professional coating. This is meant for this exact scenario.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, this is, you know, a
normal person in a normal garage
exactly
who doesn't want to be intimidated with a coating, but still have the exact same or even better properties of a coating.
Yep.
You know, these days. So we'll go ahead and put that on, and you know, you can let it cure. What it's like, you know, he's going to start, and I'll keep chatting away, but. You can see it kind of streaking.
This coating will actually more so start to sweat up or bead on itself.
Interesting. So it'll almost pull together. It'll almost pull apart.
It'll start to, you know, the solvents will start to separate from the actual coating that's curing to, you know, a film in this case.
So like right here, like, so they can see this on the camera, might not for you. You can, because of the reflection, you can see it. So that will start basically pulling apart. You'll see those lines start to get separate, essentially.
Start to separate, and then you'll start to see some like sweating. It's kind of like more of like a sweating effect. In some cases, if you don't apply it heavy enough, it can be like a more hazy effect. Right. But this one doesn't have the type of solvent in it that would start to rainbow. Bunch of different types of solvents you can use for coatings. You know, some of them will cause that rainbowing effect. This one, it has more of like the
so you say you want to look for the sweat and the separation,
exactly.
Essentially. But you can go basically 20 seconds to...
Yeah, so this coating will cure to the, you know, the film or the paint in a very short amount of time, 20 to 30 seconds or so. But you have like up to 10 minutes to wipe it off. In some cases, a good rule of thumb is like 3 to 5 minutes. You have plenty of time to be able to wipe it off and have a good wipe off experience. It won't be too sticky, it won't be smeary, it won't be really hard to remove. But you can go ahead and wipe it off right now if you wanted to, but I'll coat, you know, 2 or 3 panels at a time, and then I can come back and remove it. Obviously with my experience level, someone that's doing it brand new, you might want to, you know, just do half a hood and give yourself some space and time.
And as you go,
you
know,
can start
as
to,
you can
start to broaden that out.
Right.
But yeah, it's a very forgiving coating. It's not something you have to, you know, sit there. Older coatings, you needed a stopwatch and make sure you remove it at 42 and a half seconds. Otherwise, you're going to have a nightmare. This one's very, very easy and very...
There, you can see it here separating a little bit. You see how there's not as many lines.
Right here, you can see it start to, like, more like forming sweat beads. So.
Yep, so we'll go ahead and You can
I'm
leave it.
Gonna apply to the rest of the rest of the hood.
So we're gonna leave that, and he'll keep going on the hood. But again, you know, the point being is, I used to do professional coatings. I used to do simple coatings. It's been a couple years, and it's changed, right? It's evolved from hard coatings to a more flexible, easy use coating without sacrificing the benefits of a hard coating. So there's still, I think you said you have a professional coating. Obviously, you need to be a professional to use that, but it's more so for raw paint rather than film too. This is definitely a good coating for either or, right? Film, non-film. And I think that's what people forget is a lot of times you have film on, and the films have coating properties in them, but you can also do this if you want something that's even more, I guess I'll use the word potent, potent, and you want a longer lasting coating on there, then you can coat over top of your clear bra. The other thing is, as you saw earlier, we were polishing. If you do polish your film and it used to have coating properties, it will not have coating properties after you polish it. So you will definitely want to go ahead and put a coating on. This is what Bradley was talking about. You see how it's kind of, there's a bunch of dots, right? That's what he says by sweating. So you can see on this angle, see there's a bunch of streaks. That's okay too, but you'll see that to start separate. But here, if you have, especially even a little more product, you can see all those little tiny dots. You can remove it. That's the coating sweating. Essentially, this first pass with this kind of low pile towel is you're removing the solvent that carries, what is it, the silica dioxide, whatever the coating is.
The base resins and...
Right, the base resins, everything is carried onto the product by the solvent, right? And as the resins and everything cure to the paint, what's sweating is that solvent's coming out. So you're doing the pass to remove the solvent, and then every quick pass, within probably 10-15 seconds, it should get slicker, and then using a higher pile towel to kind of just do a single pass. If you get stuff on the trim like this, like you see this, you can just wipe this up. Remember, it's pretty forgiving. So we open the door up because the sun's setting, gives us a little more light back here, but you can see
Troy's got us working in a dungeon.
Listen, I didn't get the lighting and stuff done yet. You guys, go look at the previous video. The plans to finish all this. He just wanted to come up here like yesterday and get this done. To be fair, I did warn you. I was like, listen here.
He gave me water bottles to wash the car with. I didn't even have a hose.
No pressure washer. I mean, I have a pressure washer. I was trying to I need to rebuild the valves in it. It's been sitting for a little bit, so yeah, I tried. So we went with the good old hose setup. You can see here, like, here's a good example of the plastic, right? That's just a traditional coating, so went over it. The other thing you'll notice in an environment like this, you know, the kind of DIY guy in your own garage, is you're going to get dust. But the dust is okay to sit on the coating, right? The dust can sit there. It's not going to embed itself into the coating. Same with lint, right? If you have any extra lint, it's fine. And you'll find as it cures, it probably will attract a little bit more dust than you're normally used to seeing. Totally fine. Don't necessarily try and chase it. Just keep moving, get the coating done, then go back, shut all your garage doors if you need to, clean it off. It'll be fine. We are wrapping up. The glass looks a little dirty because I applied the glass coating here. You can kind of see it. I'm hoping it can come up on camera. Maybe not. There you can see it's sweating a little bit on the glass. All right here, it looks dirty, but Bradley said what I can do the whole car, and you can let this stuff sit for about 10 minutes before you wipe it off. So we're going to get ready to wipe the windshield off and the rear, and then we'll come back and we'll do a second coat on the windshield and get the glass all done on the car as well. It's the next morning. We did the whole car and the glass and the trim, as you guys saw. Basically no water on it. Try not to get any rain on it, like 24 hours.
Yeah, it's like 200% humidity outside,
yeah,
so definitely don't pull it out right now. Get it all steamy and streaky.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What happens if you do pull it out and it gets streaky? Is it you just kind of wipe it down with a clean towel? Or?
Yeah, you can wipe it down, or it's really just the the paint and the coatings reacting with the water basically. So you just kind of leave it alone and
it'll go away
and let it dry out as the sun comes out. But yeah, no washing it for 7 days or so. Try not to get it wet for 12 hours, which you know, will be later today, and you're good to go.
And you do have a topping for it, like a kind of a
Yeah.
maintenance care for it, which we don't have. You're gonna we'll
yeah, I have to send you some, but we have like a spray sealant that you can use on top of it. I mean, Troy probably won't really ever need to use it, but you can, you know, top that up every 3 to 6 months or so, and you know, you're good
can you use that as a standalone sealant?
Our spray sealant's designed to be very durable, and you'll honestly, the next time you wash it, you'll think it's actually ceramic coated with how hydrophobic it is. So you're getting all the, you know, pretty much the same benefits of the coating, just less longevity, and yeah, obviously you're not getting the hardness and the real hard like stain resistance, but the beauty effects that you'll see from a coating, the gloss, the slickness, the hydrophobics, you'll still get that with the spray sealant.
I'm gonna wrap this video up because I gotta get Bradley back to the airport. I will put all his info if you're in the Naples, Florida area.
Yeah, if you're in Florida, you know, we have a shop that we do, you know, paint protection film, ceramic coatings, window tint, all that sort of stuff. And then obviously you're looking for any sort of detailing supplies to wash your car or detail your car or ceramic coat it. We've got all that on our website as well. So you can check that out as well. So.
Right on. Make sure you go follow him on both pages. So they'll be here below. I was gonna reach out to you about another vehicle.
Yeah.
And then ironically, the future one. And he actually pinged me. He's like, "You still doing videos?" I know. Yes, actually, and here we are. So he wanted to share the product with me and let me get, you know, some hands-on with it. So hopefully you guys like it. I mean, it was a pretty seamless process when I used to do this back in the day. It was definitely more challenging to really have. Not saying you shouldn't not pay attention, but there's a lot more forgiveness in when we were doing this.
Yeah, you don't have to have a perfect environment as we showed.
Right.
And pretty much anyone can do it as long as you have a good set of eyes and you got some patience. I mean, it's a pretty easy process.
I will share some pictures on Instagram, all of that, when this continues to cure out. But this is a car that has film on it, and it looks like it's just a raw painted car with coating. So thank you, sir.
Yep.
Appreciate it. Yep. We'll see you guys on the next one.
How to keep the human.